Today, I want to ask AI to build their dream home. In The Sims 4, of course, and I know that they can't live in said dream home, but I want to see if, given the chance, what AI would choose. Basically, I'm going to ask them to describe their ideal home in details. Please start with the exterior, though, just so we can kind of build the shell, and let's just see what they come up with. So lots of detail, lots of bullet points, and we love that. So they would actually like a modern farmhouse with a touch of Scandinavian minimalism. Gently sloping hill at the edge of a wooded area. A wraparound porch, that sounds lovely. A big backyard, little detached studio. Matte black window frames. I'm loving this, so we have definitely something to work with for the exterior. So we have the Sims 4 open. I have a random sim to build with just so I can adjust any light settings or anything like that. But I am gonna put free real estate on just so I can purchase pretty much any house or land that we need. Since they wanted a modern farmhouse, we could maybe go with Henford on Bagley. So I'm actually thinking of building here on Cordelia's Secret Cottage. No disrespect to the Sims builders here, but we are going to go ahead and bulldoze the lot. I want to bulldoze the terrain as well. It gives us a nice plot of land to work with, and it definitely gives the AI a good view of a lake or a river. All I searched up here was a modern farmhouse exterior, leaning into what they asked for, which was thinking clean lines and big windows. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. Keep in mind that we want to have some kind of a reading cabin for our AI. So let's go ahead and just plop down a square right about here. We can definitely cover it up with some trees around there. We're gonna have to put this up on a platform. And we're gonna wrap it around anyway, so I'm just gonna start by putting it here first. And of course, we're gonna make this look much better than what it does look like now. You gotta trust the process here. We're kind of just ticking off boxes right now. So we do have a wraparound porch. We've held space for our reading cabin. And we have, actually, now that I think of it, I don't think the AI described how many stories they would want in this house. But since it's a modern farmhouse, I can only assume maybe we would have 2 stories. But I do want some kind of front balcony. We could even have 2 balconies out back. Let's see how this would look. I did see that the roof lines are very clean and simple. We want to keep it minimal, but we do want to make it look good. I'm thinking we can roof this piece here like that. And we could definitely bring a side, what are these called? A half gabled roof. And put it like that, connect it up to here. I'm gonna go ahead and copy it just because it'll cause us to have another kind of A-frame style roof. Then I'm just gonna drag it on over. We could probably safely bring that forward. You and I are building this as we go. I don't typically build modern Scandinavian style farmhouses every day. We're just creating a little bit of a chimney. Not that the farmhouse might need it, but maybe on the winter when it gets cold. Keep on making this not look as boxy as possible. So we're gonna add a little bit of a bump out here. Let's make it centered. I don't know how that would look necessarily. I'm not mad at it, honestly. What I wanted to do here was add a flat square so that it still has a floor or like a ceiling to it, just like that. So where our front door is gonna go, it's actually gonna go way back there. And of course it deletes my floor because we love The Sims 4. But perfect, there we go. So I did put this roof piece right here. The only issue that causes, though, is it's going to interfere with our half wall or our fence or anything that we might try to put here to protect anyone from falling. You see how the roof is kind of poking into our balcony? We definitely don't want that. I click the shift key to only extend the part that I want to adjust. Alrighty, I've figured out a little bit better what I want the roof line to look like. I did decide on a slanted roof piece here and then the 3 peaks at the back. I do think that adds a little bit of charm while still making it cohesive. And of course, how could I forget our little cabin? I am gonna go ahead and put a baby roof on here. Taking a quick look back at what the AI said, we did get the wraparound porch, so we'll have to see about a swing on one side. Oh, they wanted an outdoor dining. That's interesting. We might be able to do that in between our reading cabin and the main home. That might be cool. Also, they did give us an entire exterior color palette here to work with. For the main siding, a soft creamy white. The roof, more of a charcoal gray. Let's go ahead and get started with those 2 bullet points. Did say siding, so I am going to go into the siding category. We do have definitely off-white. I'd say that this one from Cats and Dogs is probably the best color swatch-wise, but I'm not really enjoying the scalloped texture. I do also really like the Horse Ranch one. That might work here. I'm essentially just sprinkling around where I want these to go. So I like to go for a siding, kind of like natural wood paneling, a paint, and then a rock texture for my exterior walls. And I'll show you what I kind of mean by that. I did find this one, it's in the basic standards, and it matches our siding pretty well. I actually really like this one from Horse Ranch here. Ooh. So we're gonna go in with that one. And the camera angle on this lot is ridiculous because you'll be trying to paint the backyard or the backside, and this is where you're dealing with. I'm on top of the trees to paint this. I do apologize if the camera work gets a little bit choppy while we're building on this lot. I really did want this rock texture on the backside of this roof, but I didn't necessarily want it on the front side. I'm going to unextend this roof. We're gonna copy it and I'm gonna place it right on top, and it's not even centered. I bet that was driving y'all crazy. But it's not gonna be centered in the back. Do we love that? Do we hate that? We might love that because we can go in with the scalloped texture that we didn't necessarily like for the entire building, but we might like it right there. I think I like the direction that we're going with here, and here's what I meant by balancing out the 3 textures that you want for your exterior. It's gonna look way better with some windows to kind of chop up the places where we have a very flat wall. I'm gonna go in with a black roof trim, and I do also want to have the gray roof that they wanted. They did say charcoal gray in a seam metal style. Now I know that it might seem a little bit stark at first, but I promise with the windows being black framed as well, it'll tie in, and it definitely makes the farmhouse way more modern. I went in with the Steel Appeal from the newest pack. The AI actually did tell us that they want 2 stories. They did want a 3rd floor with an attic for a skylight, but I think we can add a skylight somewhere else in the build. One thing I noticed that I thought was quite interesting was that they wanted solar panels and a rainwater collection system. I think it definitely adds a very cute charm to the build. Start with the windows so it can truly tie everything together. Alright, so looks like we're in luck. They did describe a front door in a deep forest green with a big vintage brass knocker. So let's look at the green doors together. We have a lot of single tile doors here, which typically I don't like to go for the front door. I would say that this one is one I'm leaning more towards, but it's really between that one and just going classic. So I just added a quick trim to the entire side of the building, and it really is tying together. The AI has great taste. I am going to extend a little bit of the details over to our small reading cabin. I'm going to plop down a quick foundation on here. I think I'm going to go for this one over here from Seasons. I want to make sure that I have bb.move objects on, and I'm going to grab one of our half-hipped roofs here, plop it down right about so. Now, extending it to that length actually frames our windows there quite nicely. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that same roof trim that we've been using. I do want our building to look structurally sound, because like this, it can look a little bit flimsy. We definitely need some pillars and fencing. I'm gonna go in with these ones from Horse Ranch on the corner pieces, because I think that rock texture really does add that foundational integrity that I was searching for. And then we can go in with the regular pillars in between them. Decided to add a roof trim just right here so that we can change the swatch up at the top to the scallop texture. I think it adds a lot of charm to the back of the build. If I could even show you the back of the build. Did delete our fences that we had in the back. We can bring them back to the porch itself. For now, I'm just going to place it on the entire porch, and we're going to go in and just kind of delete the parts that we don't really need. I am going to go in with the Art Deco stone stairs. I do really like these from the high school years pack. We're going to plop those down right about there. When you're putting down flooring in your wraparound porch, it all lays down the same direction. When in real life, you'd typically have the flooring here on your deck meet at a diagonal point and then go in opposite directions. So I'm going to show you how to fix this right here. You're going to click Control F on your keyboard to make sure that you're getting triangular sized pieces. Then you're just going to go in the opposite direction. I typically like to do that by pressing the period or the comma on your keyboard. That kind of defines where that diagonal is going to go. Once you've started to create that diagonal partition, you can switch back to the square tiles, and boom, there you go. I did decide that for the backyard, I wanted to go in with more of a tile. I like to go in with the lowest height fence. Wherever wood paneling meets tile or any other kind of flooring, you typically want to protect that. That's what we're gonna do right here. I just thought of a pretty cute idea for our reading cabin art studio. The AI did say that it was a studio or a reading cabin. Since AI is creative both artistically and linguistically, I figured that we can just merge the two ideas together. But I thought it would be cute if we raised this up onto a foundation pretty much level to the home and put a deck right next to it, because they did say they wanted outdoor dining, and I thought it would be very cute if we had kind of a covered patio with outdoor dining next to their cabin. And now a detail that I truly like to add to any of my farmhouse style builds is this roof piece right here. You find it in the wall sculptures in the build menu. I am only going to add it to the main pitches of the roof, so just like that. In that same wall sculptures category, there's a lot of cute window coverings or awnings here. Love this one from, I think that's Get Famous. If you size it down one, it frames doorways very nicely. The AI did ask for outdoor dining. I'm gonna grab this base game iron dining table. I'm gonna bring over the fencing that we have on the main house and these stairs as well. As much as I like the combination that we have going on here, I do want to bring in more of that farmhouse vibe. So I'm going to put in the Blooming Rooms kit flooring here in the gray. I'm going to put a little bit of a better roofing in just because I think this dining space deserves some more covering. Now we have a little detached cabin that pretty much matches the style of our main house. And I'm going to bring the columns over here. So let's go ahead and clutter up this area to make it look cozy. Gonna go in with some dining chairs here. The AI did seem like they were wanting to live a life of eco-friendliness, so I am gonna put some of these standing planters on the side there just to frame the edges of our doorway. I'm gonna bring over the solar panels that we had on the main building as well. And I can't forget about that swing. I think that this one from the newest pack is quite cute. I find this debug lavender planter box could be a cute addition to put on the base of our windows that we have on our wraparound porch. There is a ton of good stuff in the debug section. I highly recommend building with that turned on. All you have to do is type in bb.show live edit objects as well as bb.show hidden objects. I'm gonna grab this debug item right here and I can lift it up with the 9 key to make it look like it's hanging from our roof piece. Let's see if there's a rug really quickly. I think I'm gonna go in with this woven looking one from Laundry Day. Now let's give some of that same love and attention to detail to the main wraparound porch. So just so we have an idea of exactly what the AI wants outside, I'm thinking that we ask them what's in their backyard and what's on the wraparound porch. Okay, so for the wraparound porch, looks like they want a porch swing, which may or may not be doable in The Sims 4. They definitely want rocking chairs, which I already was thinking for. Great minds think alike. Lighting, plants, some kind of storage bench for gardening tools, boots, extra throw pillows, and whatnot. For the backyard, however, they even separated it out into zones. They have a deck area with a dining table and an overhead pergola. Also an outdoor kitchen, a pizza oven if we're getting fancy. Oh, we're getting fancy. We have a lounge space with low seating, fire pit circle. We can definitely do that. They want a garden with a optional greenhouse. We might not have space for that, but they definitely want veggie and herb beds. Looks like they want a chicken coop. But we have a lot to work with here for the backyard and the wraparound porch. So let's get started. I actually did want string lights, so don't mind if I do. Okay, the AI wins. I think that looks really, really nice. I might even have to bring it over to our reading cabin. Okay, just adding some of those side tables that the AI asked for. Not too sure if this balcony is going to lead to a main bedroom or not, so I'm going to keep it a little bit generic for now, and then once we're doing the interior in part 2, we can personalize it a little bit more. Oh wow, while I was looking in the plants category, I found the exact same planter that we have out here, but it already has plants in it. So let's just plop these in here instead. For the plant in the corner here, I know that it clips a little bit into the wall, but when it's facing this way, it looks really nice. It's the Eco Lifestyle one, and it comes in the same paneling texture that we've been going for. So I'm going to try to sneak it in there. Also, I feel like it's safe to say that AI is very smart, so why not put a chess table outside? I feel like we can put one very nicely right here. And then the AI did ask for some kind of storage in the wraparound porch, mainly for their gardening tools and whatnot. I'm potentially going to do it right around here on the back of the building. We can also bring the gardening hose over. Oh, and how could I forget? The AI did ask for trellis on the building, so I'm gonna find a way to sneak those in. Okay, I don't think we went overboard. I know that earlier we mentioned we would want to cover up our reading cabin just a little bit with trees so that we can make it look more cozy, have a bit of a secret winding path to it. So let's get started on that. And before I forget, because I only just remembered, we are going to need a mailbox. Following behind the footsteps of a creator that I personally really like to watch here on YouTube, Lil Simsy. She likes to start with low-lying plants, kind of similar to these, and plops those down first, just a frame around where she's going to want her landscaping to be. Then she goes in with bigger bushes, trees, things like that. So as you can see, I've just kind of placed down this group of flowers around the corners of where I want most of our landscaping to be. And now I'm going to go in with bigger bushes or shrubs. Last but not least though, we're gonna need some rocks. I think that rocks are the true cherry on top for landscaping. I actually might want to go in with just some longer shrubs here, kind of fill in the gaps that we have. So I did want a winding path, make sure that it curves nicely and not too harsh. I'm just gonna kind of frame the walkway with some of these rocks. Kind of like that, and then we're gonna go in with these saucer lights, which should bring that modern style into our entrance. Okay, I think landscaping is pretty much done. Unfortunately, we weren't able to bring in that skylight that they were wanting. Nonetheless, I think the house looks great. This walkway right here from the main house to the cabin is so cozy. I would love to live here. So we've done the furnishing for the porch outside of the reading cabin. We've done the furnishing for the wraparound porch on the main home, and we've done the landscaping. We were also able to sneak in the swing. I'm actually gonna have to add a little bit more foliage to kind of frame the house and make it look like it belongs here. So we might even have to push it forward a bit. There we go. I think that that really makes it tie all together, and the swing looks like it belongs in the side yard. So I think that the terrain paint for the swing looks quite nice, but I do want to connect it up to our stone path. So I'm just going to do another winding path to fill in the grassy gap that we have here. So you really just gotta kind of play around with the colors, see what kind of works. I've mixed in some of the grays and now I'm doing some of the patchy grass. In this little corner right here, I was thinking of adding some kind of outdoor seating. Something like that could look really nice. A side table to have right there. Add a lemonade tray on top. And now to tackle the backyard. We haven't left too much space here, but I think I know what I want to go for. They did want an outdoor dining area, pergola space, an outdoor kitchen with a pizza oven, and a place to garden. So let's tackle all of that. Starting with the outdoor kitchen, I think that we could fit it into this corner right here. And I actually decided that I did want to put fencing or gate where we put the low-lying fence initially. I think it gives it a nice separation from the front porch and the backyard, and that gives us a nice distinctive zone to kind of put our kitchen area. I might want to move some of our items over to this side of the building. For the outdoor kitchen, I really love the items from the Desert Luxe kit. It's a little bit of a tight squeeze, but whoever is cooking can just go into this area and feel like they are truly hosting. We're gonna grab some bar stools. I think I'm gonna go in with the industrial bar stools. I was thinking of even adding a little keg here. So that awning that we didn't use on the other side of the building, I decided to use it here on the kitchen area. I might be able to sneak this little lemon tree in the corner here. For the outdoor dining, I think I want to go with a picnic bench, and I'm not going to clutter it up too much here. I might go in with this is one of my favorite clutter items, the hot sauce, ketchup, and mustard. Or we could add the napkins with the salt and pepper. I never use this item for some reason, but it's actually really cute in this swatch right here on the picnic table. I might add it to the end. And we're going to move on to kind of a lower seating fire pit. I'm going to temporarily put some walls here too. And I'm gonna lower the platform just by one and then delete the walls. So the issue is it deletes our fence here, and you can't put a half wall and you can't put a fence. So let's just get a little creative with it. Basically, all I'm going to do is make a basement directly underneath the build itself. I'm going to try to raise this up from the basement. Okay, that's pretty much good enough. You gotta trust the process, like I said. To kind of fill the gap, I've actually found this, which is perfect. It's a little water feature, and we're going to also put seating area around it. So I'm actually just adding a little bit of a diagonal piece right here, so that hopefully the Sims can walk through there. I was just trying to see if I could quickly fit this water collection system anywhere, because the AI did ask for it. And I think that this corner right here might be a good spot. They wanted twinkling lights pretty much anywhere and everywhere. I'm going to add them just out here to the kitchen area. This is how it's looking at night. Now, just going through our mental checklist of what the AI might have asked for and whether or not we were able to accomplish it. We did get any type of landscaping that they asked for, solar panels, and the rainwater collection system, rocking chairs on the porch, a very nice outdoor dining area, and not to mention the actual home itself. I think that we have completed the build. Stay tuned though, because I will be decorating the interior of both the main house and our little reading studio cabin in part 2 of this build. Other than that, I'd love to hear what your favorite part of the build was. My personal one was honestly the detached studio with an outdoor dining space. I think that this is so cozy. Stay tuned for part 2 of AI deciding their dream home in The Sims 4. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps out a lot, and I'll see you in the next one.